In Dragon Ball Super episode 125, we just witnessed the birth of a god of destruction as Topo transforms and takes on an incredibly destructive and muscular new form. He is a scary foe and one that seems to have no weaknesses yet. This is possibly the strength of a full power god of destruction. I'm going to explain this transformation the best that I can. However, there are some gray areas and some areas that are open for speculation. So I'm going to talk about everything we learned about Topo and this God of Destruction transformation in this video. The Kai of Universe 11 says that Topo is the candidate to be the next Universe 11 God of Destruction, which we knew from the Toei website. They told this to us a long time ago, and we also read it in the manga, but this is the first time that they've actually announced this in the anime, and it took everybody by surprise. Now, Belmod, the God of Destruction of Universe 11, and Jiren both stop and say, Topo, so you've made up your mind. Now, to me, what this means is that Topo was already offered the role of God of Destruction, but it was up to him to accept. And until now, he has not accepted that role because he doesn't want to give up justice anymore. And later in this episode, he talks about there is no more justice. There is only survival. Also, the Angel from Universe 11 says now is the time to show the results of our training. So it's pretty clear here that the God of Destruction Universe 11 and the Angel have been training Topo. They've been giving him lessons very similar to how Beerus and Whis have been training Goku and Vegeta. It's just that Topo had not yet accepted the role yet. Topo uses all of this Hakai energy. Now, one of the most awesome things about this episode is that we learned so much about God of Destruction powers. First of all, we know about the Hakai. That's not really new. And also the nullification of energy, we also knew because Beerus told us that way back in the Battle of Gods arc. However, we have not seen Beerus at full power, and we have never seen him clad himself in Hakai energy. And the interesting thing about this is even if you somehow are able to escape those Hakai energy balls, if you punch Topo or damage him with physical attacks, you will get erased or your body will get seriously injured, just like if you would have got hit by one of those Hakai energy balls. So he's like pretty much got the ultimate offense and the ultimate defense, but there is one weakness that Gohan pointed out. I'm going to talk about that in a minute, but first, Frieza tries to block this Hakai energy because he was able to do it against Sidra's, but it was way less power. He had some weak minion just carrying a fraction of that Hakai energy when in episode 95 when he was able to squeeze it down and get rid of it. But Topo is full power, it seems like, and Android 17 somewhat confirmed this as well in the episode, confirming that Topo is going all out. Frieza was not expecting this level of energy and he got absolutely wrecked. However, it did not kill him. This entire part of the episode played an homage to when Frieza caught Goku's Spirit Bomb in the Namek Saga. Even when he got up, even when he revealed himself as not being erased or destroyed yet, he had the exact same look on his face as he did on planet Namek when he came out of the water. Now, my question is, does this mean, are they trying to tell us that a Hakai energy ball is the strength of a Genki Dama? It could be that they're trying to tell us that, or they could simply have just been giving us an homage to DBZ. So this Hakai energy ball explodes with tremendous intensity, so much so that it even cuts the Tournament of Power Arena stage into multiple pieces, and it turns the sky blue. So why did the sky turn blue? Well, this is basically because all of that Hakai energy from that blast, it's just staying in the atmosphere of the world of the void, where there's no space. I guess the light from the Hakai energy doesn't really have anywhere to travel, so it's just kind of sitting there, and now we're going to have a blue sky from now on, presumably. If Topo goes, we may get the green sky back. I don't really know about that. But we have seen a preview image for episode 126, and that still has the blue sky, so I think we can assume that we're going to have the blue sky for the rest of the tournament, unless the sky changes during the last minute to red or something like that. Android 17 says, you've certainly gone all out, so this is pretty much confirmation that this is the full power of a God of Destruction, and Topo gives us this speech here where he says, justice and evil, I am beyond that now. So he's no longer a pride trooper, justice isn't his concern anymore, his only concern is winning and survival. So to me, what this means is Topo, basically one of the reasons that he didn't accept being a god of destruction right away is because he places a lot of value on justice in the universe, and becoming a god of destruction, pretty much you have to leave your entire life behind. You have to leave the Pride Troopers behind. You have to go and do god of destruction things. And that's one of the reasons that he hasn't taken it until now. And now that he has this role as god of destruction of Universe 11, the Pride Troopers are a thing of the past to him, and his only concern is the survival of his universe. Topo's Justice Flash has been powered up as well, so much so that it cracked Android 17's barrier. He was saying that his normal key waves are unbelievably more powerful. Now, this is really interesting, guys, because there has been a lot of speculation as to whether or not becoming a god of destruction actually gives you powers and a power up, or you just have to be insanely strong to even be a god of destruction. Now, we saw in the manga that almost all gods of destruction were relatively close in power, and that's because, pretty much confirmed here, that once you accept being a god of destruction and transform into the role, you get a power that is relatively equal to all the other gods. Now, I don't know if it just levels you off and it makes some finite benchmark of power that you just become, your power level becomes 300 trillion or something like that, or does it just add power on top of what you already had? That is still a gray area. But as we saw in the manga, when Beerus took on the other gods of destruction, Beerus was able to use his fighting skills to gain the upper hand over those gods. So even if you're basically all equal power as gods of destructions, your fighting skills can still be the difference between winning or losing a battle, no matter how strong you are. Now, Topo here, he is nullifying all energy attacks. This is something that we learned again from Beerus very early in Dragon Ball Super. And this is a huge problem for Universe 7. You can't use any energy attacks on him, and you can't physically punch him, or your fist is gonna get erased or severely damaged. So what are they gonna do to beat Topo? Beerus gives us an explanation here, saying that it is the Hakkaida, the Hakkai energy, and depending on the situation, your Hakkai energy acts differently, or you can use it in different ways. Depending on the situation, he can surround himself with the energy of destruction. That's very interesting. It's not something that you can use all the time, I guess. According to Beerus, it's something that kind of happens randomly or only in certain situations. That itself is a weakness, meaning that his Hakkai energy surrounding him could potentially wear off at some point. Another weakness coming out of Topo here is that he needs time to charge up before he can unleash his energy of destruction. So he can't just keep spamming that Hakkai energy death ball everywhere. It seems like he can only use it every 10 seconds or so in Dragon Ball time, which really isn't that much of an opening. But if you remember characters like Hildegard and Hachiak, they basically had openings in between their attacks, and this could be the weakness that'll help Universe 7 take the advantage and destroy or knock off Topo. However, the problem with that, as Gohan explains here, is that even if you're able to dodge his Hakkai energy balls, he can still clad himself in energy of destruction. But as Beerus told us earlier, that can only happen in certain situations, so all they really have to do is change the situation. As Topo is about to fire another Hakkai death ball, Frieza returns and he is pissed. Now, the interesting thing about this was he was able to stop Topo's blast by throwing a rock at him. And now, major spoiler warning here, guys. We know in episode 126 that Android 17 will start using rocks as weapons. He's going to be chucking these things at Topo because Topo can't absorb rocks. He can only absorb energy attacks, being a god of destruction. So they're going to try that. They're going to give it a try and start spamming him with a bunch of stones. It's probably not going to do anything, and Frieza is going to be using his psychic powers to try and stop Topo, but I have a feeling that they're both going to be futile, and Frieza may even go next episode. Frieza challenges Topo with a death ball strong enough to destroy a planet, and just showing how strong a god of destruction is, this is great for power scalers. He just flicks a tiny little pebble of Hakkai energy, and it destroys that energy ball that was strong enough to destroy an entire planet. This right here, amazing animation showing the speed and the might of Topo. I was so shocked and stunned when I saw this scene, and the power behind that punch as it just went through Frieza. I gotta say, it was so satisfying to see Frieza take that kind of damage and actually be hurt for a change, but in a way, I honestly felt bad for him. a character that I've hated and resented so much through all of Dragon Ball Z for his evil doings, and somehow they were able to get me feeling sympathetic for Frieza in this episode. And that is all due to a great voice actor and very good story writing, which gives you the feelings of emotion and connection to the character of Frieza. As right here, he gets his head crushed and then he gets booted off the stage, but Android 17 is able to change the trajectory by throwing a rock at him, and Frieza is still in the ropes, he's still in the ring, and he's going to be fighting again in the next episode. This episode was absolutely phenomenal. I loved it. I give it a 10 out of 10. There was no issues with this episode. The effects and the animation were great. The music was badass, Topo was a badass, and the voice actors did a phenomenal job in this episode. I really loved this one, and this is one that I'll definitely come back to watch again after Dragon Ball Super is over. That's it for my review, everybody, and thank you so much for stopping by Mastar Media today. Leave your comments below, and I'll be talking to you tomorrow for the Dragon Ball Super episode 126 preview video breakdown. Thanks, everybody. Peace.